Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today I am going to be bringing to you one of my own games, and that is all I'm going to be bringing to you this week. What actually happened is I played in a small tournament over the weekend here in San Francisco, and honestly, I just was not happy at all with how I played at that tournament. I did not think I did that well at all. I won a few games here and there. Overall, I lost most of the matches against a lot of really good players. There were some, I think it was mostly Masters players there, maybe some Grandmasters, might have been a couple of Grandmasters there, but I didn't do well at all. So this week, I have told myself that I am just going to spend this week training in StarCraft. I'm just going to be playing ladder games every single day, and so I'm not going to be uploading pro replays this week just because I really, it's just one of my pet peeves. I've mentioned this before. It's just one of my pet peeves that, as a caster, I want to be a good player, at least at, the Masters level, and I just did not perform nearly as well as I really wanted to at that tournament. So all this week, instead of using all my casting time for casting, I'm actually going to be using it to ladder, and every day I'm going to upload just one of my games so that you guys can see some of my games and maybe hopefully give me some tips on how you guys think I can improve, because I'm sure a lot of you out there are very good StarCraft players. Now, my opponent today here on Metalopolis, spawning in the 8 o'clock position as the Blue Protoss is, oh heck, I don't even know how to say this guy's name. This guy's just Blue Protoss, alright? He's just Blue Protoss guy, spawning in the 8 o'clock position. I have spawned over here as the Red Zerg in the 3 o'clock position. Both of us going to be scouting each other right now, and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about my thought process behind everything in this game that occurs today. This was a high diamond level game. I believe my rank at this time was, I don't know, somewhere in the top 8 diamond maybe. But I haven't really started to get matched up against too many Masters players yet, so I don't think I'm quite on the verge of breaking into Masters, but still working through it. Still playing a lot of diamond players, and hoping to go for Masters here sometime within the next month or so. Now against Protoss, I generally will take a fast hatch if they will let me. If it looks like this probe is not going to let me take that fast hatch, because it's very common now for Protoss players to just throw down this pylon almost regardless of whether you're going for a fast expand or not. They'll just kind of throw down that pylon anyway. Sometimes they'll cancel it, sometimes they won't. So a lot of times if it looks like that probe is, if there's any kind of indication at all, if it even slightly looks like he's just kind of hanging around here, like maybe he's looking for a hatchery, then I'll just instantly throw down the 14 pool. Otherwise, I will normally try to go for a 15 or 16 hatch if I can help it, and then instantly follow that up with a pool, maybe squeeze in one drone or so. If you actually throw down this hatchery and then instantly throw down this pool, typically with most drone counts, then your pool is actually going to get done a good amount before your hatchery. So if you really want your hatch to finish at about the same time your pool finishes, so that you can instantly start building 2 queens, you want to generally throw down your hatch, you want to squish in about 1 drone, and then throw down your spawning pool, and then they will finish at just about the same time. Now my opponent right now is just going for 1 base. I still have 1 drone in his base because I'm looking around for things. So far I have scouted that he's gone for a double gas, so I know that he's not going to be going for anything super early attacky, no super 4 gates or anything like that, because 2 gas is just a little bit too much gas for the 4 gate. And I'm seeing that he's getting out this early Sentry and this early Zealot, which so far to me indicates that he's playing a little bit more defensive, that he wants force fields, things like that. And I did see the other 2 gateways going up here, so I know that he's going to be going for a 3 gate, maybe Robo, maybe into expand here, but it's a very safe style of play. A lot of players will play very safe and go 3 gate expand, because it's just a really solid way of playing. Not quite as economic as going for a 1 gate expand like a lot of pro players will do. You'll see a lot of pros just go for the 1 gate expand, but you need to have very good scouting for that, and you really need to have a good feel for what your opponent is doing, really have a good game sense. Now, my focus in this game, getting up a little bit later of a Ling speed, going to be going for Roaches. I like using Roaches against Protoss. I've kind of been toying with using Hydras a lot, but I actually used Hydras a lot against Protoss in the tournament that I played in, and I just kept getting stomped over and over, so I was pretty discouraged. So when I played this match here yesterday, then I decided, you know what, I'm going back to Roaches. I know Roaches. I'm comfortable with Roaches. Gonna be going with the Roaches. So what I did first is I got fully saturated here on minerals at both bases, and then I threw down my gas geyser. Now going to be mining just three workers on gas for now until I get up a few roaches. I almost always throw up this spine crawler. Just one spine crawler, just because some Protoss players will send that initial 1 or 2, maybe even 3 zealots to try to come deny this base and punish you for not getting out any early lings. So I'm almost always just get up this one early spine crawler, especially when I see him going for 3 gates on one base. If I saw a fast expansion, I would not bother, but the fact that I saw 3 gates on one base, he could possibly be aggressive if he wanted to be. As we can see, he is producing a lot of zealots and a lot of sentries right now. Very, very standard play, very standard opening here. The force fields allow you to be very defensive early on, and against early lings, then that's really what this makes you very, very safe against, because you can just force field the lings, split them up into small groups, and your zealots will just cut through them like butter. Now, I was on the Xel'Naga watchtower. I still have this northern one, but the southern one he did take with the zealot, and the zealot is now moving towards my base. But I do have an overlord here, and I do now know that he went for this nexus, and so the fact that I saw this nexus went, well, I'm taking a third. I know you're not being super aggressive early on because you're taking a nexus. So I'm just going to be taking a third of my own here. I do have a couple of lings scouting around to be sure that there were no pylons. Just run them around the base, just because on Metalopolis, it's very, very, very common for Protoss players to hide pylons here, or here, or here, sometimes over here, or sometimes over here at the gold. So those are always spots I check as I take my third base, sometimes even earlier, just to be sure that there aren't any around. Now I actually didn't realize he had started to move across the map there. I guess he just cleared the Xel'Naga watchtower there. And I'm going to be throwing down double evolution chamber. I always like getting the double upgrades, almost in every matchup. The only matchup I do not get double evolution chamber is in ZVZ. In ZVZ, it's a little bit dangerous to get a double evolution chamber, because if you commit that much to upgrades, a lot of times they'll just build a ton of units and just kill you because you have wasted a little too much resources in upgrades. So it's just a much more fragile matchup, so I don't do that very commonly. Now, I am going to be trying to spread creep here. I do forget about it in the mid-game, but I start to pick it up later on. But now that my third is up here, I just built a good number of roaches. I just want a good number of roaches here. I built 16 just to be able to defend my base and things in case he does start to get aggressive, because I know he's been on 2 base here for a little while. And if we check out the harvester count right now, we can see that we're about dead even on harvesters, but I'm pumping lots and lots of workers. Once I get up a good number of workers here, 16, around 16 is usually a good number for me. I start to throw down lots and lots of drones to really get this third up and running. Now I'm going to be throwing down my lair as well. Lair tech is now done. This pool is not at all well placed. This is actually a little too close to the extractor, as you can see there. You might be able to get closer if I moved them to here and started them on the gas, but I'm not sure. Roach speed also super late by me. Definitely could have got that roach speed a lot sooner. If you check out my gas is very high right now. Could have definitely got that a lot sooner. But I'm playing very safe right now, very defensive. Right now I'm just focusing on getting lots and lots more drones up. And because I'm focusing on getting lots and lots of drones up, and I haven't been able to see it into his base right now, I'm going to send in an overlord. But I'm also going to be throwing down a couple of spines and a spore at every base, or a spore or an overseer, just because DTs can be an issue, because I don't really know what he's doing yet. But this overlord is getting into his base right now, and I am going to get a bit of a scout off there. I hope to God I start moving that overlord north so I get a good scout of his base. There we go. Now that overlord is going to start to move south. And I did see the Twilight Council and the robotics facility, so I know that he's getting some kind of upgrades for his gateway units. Dark Shrine still a possibility, but as I said, I'm prepared for it with my spore crawlers. I do have my spore crawlers up. Now I did start to see him moving out across the map here, so I'm going to be moving my spine crawlers forward. I want to start to deal some damage here before those stalkers will actually be able to see me, get a few free pokes off, and now I'm going to be moving all of my roaches in and producing nothing but roaches. Notice I made a lot of overlords here early too, as I was taking this third base, getting lots and lots of drones up, get up tons and tons of overlords, just because once you really start to get on 3 base, you're going to really max fast. So you really want to be sure your overlord supply is super high. Now, I'm going to pause here really quick, because normally, if you look at this number of roaches and this number of units here, he's got an immortal in the mix, he's got a lot of zealots here to soak up damage here, good number of stalkers here. This size army is going to destroy this size army normally. But what I'm going to be showcasing here is the famous Defender's Advantage. Now, normally, Protoss players can negate the Defender's Advantage by having a pylon here, but one huge mistake my opponent makes here is that he did not have any reinforcing pylons. So what I'm doing is I'm I'm now re-rallying in tons and tons of roaches, and my initial army, though it wasn't big enough to be able to deal with his army, the reinforcements that I spawned, and because I was still producing units during that fight, means that I can remax really, really fast. And now if we go back to his base, we can see he didn't stop macroing. He's still fairly low on his minerals and gas, but he was having to warp everything back home. If you had added this to his army earlier as that fight was going on, he would have had a way better chance, and now he's lost a ton of units. And now he is on the run, and I'm going to now be pushing back right now because I just said, I just took out your army. Now, I used to not do this. I used to be so scared of doing this. I just took out an army, and then I'd feel, oh god, but now I'm scared because my army's small too. My army's not as big as it could be either. But if you just go on the offensive, a lot of times, you can actually just end the game straight up. That's not what's going to happen here. But I'm going to go on the offensive here and realize, holy cow, he's actually got a lot of units here, and I'm going to start to pull back. The other advantage to doing this, the other reason you want to do this, is because it allows you to see what he's building. It allows you to see where he's at. It allows you to check expansions, that kind of thing. I do have this Overlord in position, and now we just traded armies. I pushed at the front, saw what kind of tech he's going for. I saw he's going for a lot of Stalkers, lots of Immortals, lots and lots of Gateway units, and what he's actually going to be going for is Colossi here, and I'm not going to scout them right away, but I felt like I poked at the front. I see that he doesn't have a third, and so I'm going to start to tech. Now what I should have done is right now, bam, I should have thrown down a hatchery. This should have been a hatchery already. The moment I pushed that army back, that should have been insta-hatchery. This is actually really bad by me. That I should have been expanding. I'm going to expand here, but it's going to be super, super late. In the meantime, I am getting up infestors back home. I'm starting my hive tech. Pathogen glands is done, and I'm starting my Spire because I'm anticipating that he saw a huge roach number count, and he's most likely going to be going for Colossi. So I almost want to anticipate very early like what he's going to do. The thing with Zerg is that for Zerg, it's not like Terran or Protoss where you have to build lots and lots of production structures to be able to produce units. You make one building. You make one building, and then you can make new units out of every single one of your hatcheries. It's so easy for Zerg to tech switch. So right now I'm throwing down this Spire because I know that eventually there's probably a good chance that Colossi are coming, but 200, not that bad of an investment here to be able to be safe against Colossi. 2-2 is also on the way for me right now. He is currently sitting at 2-2 as well. And he's going to come in once again, and I actually like this push by him. This push would have denied a fourth base. I did not actually throw that fourth base down. That doesn't mean that it was a good move not to throw down the fourth base. I still should have thrown down the fourth base and then had my roaches out here in position to be able to deal with this pushback. But I did not do that. I didn't expand. So now I'm not in the best of positions, but I have been pumping lots of roaches, lots of infestors. Infestor fungal growths now going down all over all of his units right now. Everything taking lots and lots of damage. And what I actually should have done here is pulled back my roaches a little bit. Let that fungal growth do some damage. Pull back my roaches. I would have saved a lot more. But right now I'm remaxing with tons more roaches. 32 roaches currently on the way. Still have a very high infestor count. Once again, I am going to push this. I'm going to survive this push just barely, and I'm going to start to push at his front base again, if I am not mistaken. I have so many roaches on the way, and I know that this expansion is going down. I see that expansion going down with this Overlord. This is good play by him. The fact that he's attacking while he's expanding is good, but here I've just been on 3 bases for way too long. I've just been sitting on these 3 bases for so long that he really just doesn't have the army to really be able to do the kind of damage he really needed to do with that push. So what am I going to do? I need to put some pressure back on my opponent. I need to start taking bases. So I'm going to send my roaches right straight down the middle. First to attack at his front and to check his tech, because by attacking it's a very good way of scouting, and also to draw his army down to here so that my infestors, when they move in, will be able to deny this expansion. So my roaches all come in, start to deal some damage. This is not good control. I just 1-A'd them into his army, and I'm actually losing a ton of roaches right now. I realize what's happening, but I do get the infested Terrans down, and now I just run away with these roaches, focus down that hatchery real fast, and I am indeed going to be getting that Nexus. So now I get to just pull back and take more bases. God, my fourth is so late in this game. I could have had a fourth so much earlier, been in so much better of a position. Look at how many minerals I have. So many minerals. I'm just in such a good position from here on out. I'm now going to be getting more upgrades. 2-2, just finishing up. I actually do forget about my 3-3 here. My 3-3 could have come almost right away. Like, as you can see, my minerals are super high. Gas is a little bit on the high side, and I'm pretty much maxed right now. I'm intentionally not fully maxing, because I want to leave room for Broodlords, but I'm producing lots and lots of Corruptors right now, still leaving a good number of Roaches. You don't want to overcommit to Roaches. I have had games where I have lost because I've been sitting on 200 for way too long with full Roaches and not enough space for Broodlords and Corruptors. So now finally taking my 4th super late, and at this point in time I would even start taking a 5th and a 6th. I mean, I just denied his 3rd. I have a 200 army. I've got lots and lots of larvae at every single one of my hatcheries, so I should be taking just bases all over the map right now. Not going to be doing that, but I am going to be teching to Broodlords right now. I'm going to be getting up just a small number of Broodlords because I know he does still have a good number of Colossi here, and I'm also maxed, so I can't really get any more than 4 at this point in time. But I am getting more and more Corruptors up because I want to be able to take down those Colossi faster. But I also, more importantly, I want to be able to morph Broodlords, because at this point, once you start to have Broodlords, Colossi, the thing with Colossi, and this is why Protoss really starts to need Void Rays once they see Broodlords, is that the Colossi just kind of negate Broodlings for a little while. All they'll do is they'll just kind of sit there shooting at Broodlings, which are infinite. In the meantime, the Roaches will be doing lots of damage. The Infestors should be landing fungal growths to do lots of damage as well. And so now, since I'm maxed, I'm going to start to pressure my opponent. I'm going to start to use these Broodlords, and I actually don't like this positioning here. What I actually think would have been better is if my Broodlords are going to be hitting here, my Roaches need to be here. By having my Broodlords at the front like this, it leaves them very, very vulnerable for those Stalkers to just blink right up here. I can fungal them once they're there, but they're already in range of my Broodlords. So, not good positioning here by me. Definitely could have been better here, but I do see his army engaging. You see the Stalkers blinking up right now. The second they blink up and get those fungal growths on them, you should be getting those fungal growths up before they start hitting your Broodlords, and a little bit of miscontrol here from me as I start to try to focus down these Colossi, and my Broodlords just go walking right through his army. But those Colossi have been focusing those Broodlings so much that my Roaches managed to just get through all of his army, and now I'm continually remaxing with Roaches. You always want to remax with Roaches, if not Broodlords, because they're very quick, they build quickly, they can get across the map really, really fast, and when I just take out an army like that, now I just want to be able to do quick damage before he can reinforce. And so as you can see, I'm just remaxing on lots and lots of Roaches, and that is going to wrap up this game. That was a GG. I'm going to do one quick thing. I want to say the one thing that Protoss could have done differently, we're going to jump to that point. Where's that push? That first push that he did in this game, because that, I think, was an important moment in this game. Did I just miss it? Bam. This push here, this first push should have come so much earlier. This push was actually really, really late. This push had arrived, say, a minute, 2 minutes earlier, I wouldn't have had... Look at how many Roaches I have. I don't even have that many Roaches right now. If he would have hit a minute or so earlier, not this many Roaches would have been here. I still would have been focusing on drones. These spines wouldn't have been up. And this army, even though it might have been, I don't know, maybe this much smaller, would have been here and would have denied this third base from the start. So if this push would have come about a minute or two earlier, this push would have probably denied my third and put me in a terrible position here. And it would have been 2 base on 2 base, and he would have been in a fantastic position. But the fact that this push came so late is what really allowed me to win this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you do, hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing more of these all week long. Going to be doing lots and lots of laddering. Going to be uploading some games. Going to upload some games where I lose. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be uploading some games where I'm going to be losing, because I want you guys to tell me what I can do to improve. So be looking out for that. Be checking out my channel. Help me become a better StarCraft player. This is the opposite of the Day 9 Daily, where it's not where you learn to be a better gamer. It's where you teach me to be a better gamer. Thanks for watching, guys. Glitch out.